Hi everyone, I took a little vacation to Virginia to visit my mom and my sister because it was my mom's birthday, and while we were there we went to the Quilt Festival. Hi everyone, I went to the Mid Atlantic Quilt Festival in Hampton, Virginia because my mom and my sister live in Virginia. And here is all of the vendors. And my sister's been to this quilt show before for the past 3-4 years. So we marked what vendors we want to get to first. And there it is. This is the line. And that's National Quilting Month. And there's my sister. And this video is kind of long, so if you want to watch it in a faster playback speed, feel free to do that. On a mobile device in the upper right hand corner, you click those 3 dots and then a drop down box comes up that says playback speed, and you click that, and then the playback speeds will show up like 1.25, 2. You might have to scroll down to get to the 2, but that's what I watch longer videos in, is a 2 times playback speed. And on a desktop, you click that gear icon, and then you'll have the playback speed options. And I do talk a little bit throughout this video, and I do show the quilts because, you know, it's a quilt show. So I do show some pretty awesome quilts. But feel free to watch it in a 2 times playback speed or whatever speed you want. And also, you can also hear what I'm saying in the playback speed, so in a faster playback speed. And here we are waiting in line. We had advance tickets. My sister's husband, my brother-in-law, got us advance tickets. So we're just waiting for the doors to open up, and they do a little countdown. It was so funny. That was so funny how they were getting the crowd riled up to come in. And there we are. We are in the quilt show, the festival, I guess you could call it. And we're moseying along, and we're passing some booths because we wanted to get to this booth. Because my sister says this booth ends up with a super crazy long line, so we hit this booth first. And this booth is called the Fieldstone House, and they are from New York, and that is his sign. He wears that. It's on the front and the back, and it says the line forms behind him. And I bought a ton of fabric from this booth and from some other booths, and I will have a haul video later on of all the fabric. And there she's cutting my chipmunk fabric. And this is the full line stencil booth, and those are the spray bottles that me and my sister have. They're fantastic. They're great misting bottles. And he's going to show how to use a chalk pencil, which I did buy. And then, well, my sister bought 2 and then gave me 1 because it was a 2 for special. And then he's going to demonstrate some of their chalk products. I love their chalk products for making quilt tops. This is how you stencil patterns onto your quilt tops.
Because they come in the pack. The pencils are made with the same powder that's in your white pounds. So if you wanted to make your own design, you want to sign your name to your quilt, use that all the way down so you can't sharpen it no more, right? Use the whole entire thing. You can run your hand over that. You see how well it stays on your fabric. We're going to stitch over that. Oh. There it is. Just take that right off. Now, if you're working with a lighter fabric, if you work with like a white or a cream, a beige color, use the pink or blue chalk. Now, your chalk is different from your white powder. This one irons away, this one does not. This is a brush off or a wash out. So always keep your pads separate. Keep one for the white, one for the pink, and one for the blue. This one, I'm taking off the limp brush, all right? If you iron it, you're gonna set it. Anything that has a color has a dye in it. Anything with a dye, it will set, all right? So keep them boxes different. Now, if you've worked with chalk before, you know it does bounce around your fabric, and you can't mark a lot of your quilt top before losing that pattern. You want to run your hand over that. So it smears. Let's say you want to keep it just as bright as when you first pounced it. You're going to best press it. All right, now what we do with the best press, we take it out of that bottle because sometimes it's too heavy or it leaks around there. and we put it in these bottles.
That is the best bottle.
Ever.
Isn't that great? These
Ever.
are $12.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's like, send me another.
They are
I
perfect.
couldn't get enough of them.
We put the best press and we let that mist fall
yeah, and
into the chalk.
that's what I told her. You know,
That
it's
is
going to be
the
good for her.
best.
Yep.
It is, and then we let it dry, and then once it dries, we go ahead and quilt it. Then we just wash that out. Yes.
This was a neat booth. They had a lot of vintage buttons. I didn't buy any from there because I already have a ton of buttons, but they were all vintage buttons. It was really neat. And they also had some other things, but like I don't think I bought anything from this booth, but the buttons were so pretty. I did buy from this booth. It's called Sue's Fabric World. And now look at this quilt. That's a guitar, but look, it's trees. It's in the silhouette of trees to make it look like a guitar. If that wasn't the neatest thing, you know, and with that like sunset ombre look behind it. And there's just a bunch of other quilts. And this one I thought was neat because I'm in Minnesota and Prince's house isn't too far from us. And that's a quilt somebody made in remembrance of Prince. So I had to record this one. It was really neat. And I didn't read, there's a little card by it, but I didn't read it. And this I wanted to show you guys. This is called thread sketching, and I knew about this, but that's all stitching. Different stitches on the machine. This looks like they used all straight stitches, but that is called thread sketching, and that's entirely stitched. That's not an applique or anything like that. And there's Harriet Tubman, and that's I'm not too keen on baseball, so but it must be a famous Dodgers player. But yeah, that's thread sketching. And here's all the quilts. I didn't get all of them because there were so many. And look at, there's a Mer horse. I really, really like that one. But it was really fun looking at all these quilts. And, you know, I could have videoed or recorded all of them, but it would have been impossible, or it would have been a super long video. But anyway, so I did get some, but not all. They were all beautiful. And you got to pick, they had like a viewer's choice where you could pick the quilt that you liked best, and I picked a heron quilt, and I think I show it in here. I can't remember what I all recorded. Look at that pheasant. Isn't that beautiful? And that had like some fabric that they left unsewn, so it got kind of wore like feathers. And just look at that. And that's, you know, a girl in a like garden scene. And look at this peacock, and those peacock feathers again were like the thread sketches. And there's a kitty sniffing some flowers, and I think they did these from photographs. Some of these were like a photograph type challenge where you took a photograph and then, oh, look at that one with the eye, the Edgar Allan Poe poem. But anyway, and some of these, like I said, were photos where they had to replicate photos into a quilt. Look at that rooster. If that isn't beautiful, that was nice and bright. And that looks like a stained glass window. And there's some birds. There's a llama. And there's a dove of peace. And just tons and tons of quilts. And look at that rabbit. That was so cute. That one won some type of prize. And there's a girl. And it just goes on. Look at this kitty one, an artist cat. And there's another cat. And there's like a bearded dragon or an iguana or something. And there's another cat. There's another cat. This must have been the cat challenge. Oh, look at that. That's all just stitching. And this one was so funny. Look at that. It's a goose factory. The goose factory. Oh, so cute. And this was lots of mandala type quilts. And they were just beautiful. And you can't touch them or anything. But there's cars. And again, that's thread sketching. That's not appliques or anything like that. And you can see it there. Lots of those cars. Classic cars. And that was beautiful. It was so hard to pick which one you wanted, you know. But to win, but I don't know who won. That one had all sorts of like little Swarovski crystals on it. This one was really nice, and that had a lot of crystals on it too. That was the alphabet. That's the alphabet quilt. So cute, beautiful. And look at this giraffe. There was a lot of animal silhouettes. That must be a big thing this year. And another big thing this year, as we noticed, was musical instruments. So, and there's a cat, and that's a seahorse. All sorts of these beautiful, beautiful quilts. Look at that. That's water. And oh, look at this carousel quilt. Is that just beautiful? Now, these you don't use as bedspreads. These are displayed in your home in wall hangings. And here's a picture of the quilt that I voted for. It's a heron quilt, and it was just beautiful. I really liked it. And here's my suitcase. That is 47.5 pounds of fabric. I had to empty my clothes out, and my sister is mailing my clothes. The quilt show haul video will be in a different video. It will be up shortly, so be sure to watch that. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and I invite you to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye.